Welcome back to this edition of Interviewing Hollywood with me, your host, Shahid Manning. We are at Flipping the Script here at ATBLA, and we are talking to some phenomenal people about a phenomenal issue, homosexuality in Black Hollywood. You'll know from our last installment, the first time we were at Flipping the Script, the issue was, we have to, do this ourselves, and that's fantastic enough, but how do you do that? And I think today we were talking about how we try to do that, how we begin to make this ourselves relevant. And I have a wonderful guest who has plenty to say about this issue. This is Faith Trimel. She is the writer, producer, director of Family. Faith, why don't you introduce your piece?
Sure. This is my baby. Family is it is a full-length feature film. It's a story about a group of closeted lesbian friends who make a pact to come out together within 30 days.
Wow.
Yes. And so it's a comedy drama. And it is a rich, lush cast. It's an ensemble piece. And I produced it 2 years ago. It's done festivals and all over the world. It's been so well received, sellouts everywhere, full houses, and such a hunger to have a work like this because it's such a dearth of work about Black lesbians, currently. So
now, I know that there's a bit of an issue about lesbians in film. There doesn't seem to be a lot of them. Someone made a point about not only is it hard for lesbians to come out, but then you're a Black lesbian, and there's some other issues. Tell us about those.
Well, it is, I guess I'm so used to saying it that I forget that people don't know this or hear about the triple minority, and that in being Black and female, and as well as being lesbian, is an issue of privilege. Privilege is extracted with the addition of each one of those elements. That is when you are furthest away from what the ideal is, which is a Caucasian wealthy white man. And then added to that is being on the lower socioeconomic class as a woman. It puts you in a very vulnerable place such that women are less apt to come out of the closet and lose the last vestige that they can actually negotiate. You can't fool too many people about being, Black. You can't fool too many people about being female. You can, but it's not easy. But you can withhold and not identify as lesbian. And so that is something you can hold to you so that you're not completely ousted out of the protection and out of the connection of the Black community.
So is your argument that women's last vestige is their sexuality? Like
yes, absolutely. I mean, I know that it is. It's powerful. Like I always joke, and I'm just going to be really candid with you, that I'm out and proud. However, I do know that the majority of the people who supported and helped me make Family were actually heterosexual men of all persuasions, all races.
Because she is.
Thank you.
Okay, you say I'm a gay man girl, but hello. So she knows it. See, she talk about it. She did all that words. It's like, I'm hot. I'm gonna get it.
But I was lucky to magnetize the most gentlemanly of the bunch who just are weak for what they find to be an attractive or pretty woman. And so they were so generous in giving me what they could, and so all that compiled together created all the tools that I needed to make this film.
Okay.
And so I could have done what many others would do, and I don't blame them per se, which was to have never disclosed my sexuality, because that can get you even more, you know what I'm saying? So there they always knew it was a wall. So I'm saying it took a certain type. However, if I were going to go predominantly to anyone who could serve my purpose, say if I were going to be a little bit more self-serving, then not to disclose it would have probably been it. And then to play and allude to the fact that maybe I'll date you or whatever, is definitely a tool. But if that's gone and that's off the table, then your range and reach is a little bit compromised.
Wow, it's a splinter, but wow, she's talking about the power. You know what I'm saying? With the whack.
Yeah, very sophisticated. So
very sophisticated discussion. That's right. Wow, that was.
Yeah. I mean, that is what women use as sex as a weapon. It's been since the beginning of time. I mean, we look at shows like Tudors, and it shows just how women withholding or giving sex is how they've built power. Okay. So
wow.
So if you're a lesbian woman, what you gonna do? Well, you don't get the power since it's still vested in, the mainstream and heterosexual men or ones who are power or whatever. I mean,
let's try and solve this issue. In my opinion, the big elephant in the room was, how do you orchestrate being relevant by telling people who you are? I don't appreciate this comment, and I want us to matter. It's not like I just want to go in the background. Otherwise, there's nothing going to be changed, and still feed your kids at the same time.
I have to believe that you have to be extremely diversified as an artist, period, to eat. And so it's not going to be easy for anyone. Honestly, I heard that Harrison Ford built and constructed houses in the Hollywood Hills for 17 years before he got his break.
Yeah.
So if they're struggling, no doubt.
Right.
But I would say that One thing I think is the obvious. I just have this belief, this faith, that talent and a wonderful, rich project will rule everything. Like the quality of the work, and then the necessary tools. There is a structure. They have universities that teach PR and marketing. It just so happens that Tyler Perry's success is not given to what he should be credited for, and not necessarily so much as a talented writer, but as an incredible marketer. And Spike Lee started that formula of scintillation and controversy to get attention. That it was not even the work as much as the don't see this work, or you should see this work, or you're not worthy of this work, and creating that kind of hysteria. These are marketing whizzes. And so in answer to your question, you want to make the best product that you possibly can. You want to be as truthful and honest. And you also want to become one who is adept at sales. Selling your stuff. Marketing your stuff. Because sometimes I have friends who want to make it as an artist, they're out or whatever, and like, this may seem trivial, but this means a lot to me. They have no Facebook fan page or group established, and if they do, they have 200 people.
Right. That's not going to do it.
That's not going to do it. No one knows about your work. You can make as great a product as you want, but if you are not screaming into the hilltops, because trust me, no matter if you tell 100,000 people, only about 10,000 are paying attention. You may need to tell them 10 times. Exactly. It is about a wizardry in marketing, and it is about a confidence and boldness in your work. It is about the quality of the work, and it is also, if everything else is done, faith that our time will come, just as blacks did. I've done nothing but watch every black exploitation movie ever made, and seeing at that time when it was like such a controversy to have Shaft or Superfly, there was no work out.
But you realize that speaks to the few who have that kind of gumption, because it's not going to be a mass. I think it's a combination of things. I was just talking to Jasmine about it. It's going to be a combination of the few that have that gumption to present it so people can see it, so that you become galvanized to do something about it, and those few that have it to have the strength to do it.
Well, fortune favors the bold, and so if you are going to be the one to put your neck on the line to create something that may not allow you to really support yourself or whatever, then you are going to reap the benefit of it, as Tyler did. Even though people say that Tyler has a very traditional model, it's actually brand new. It is a little bit of the vaudeville thing as well, but it is also a new model that he created. What Tyler Perry did that people don't give him credit for, even though, I mean, say I'm a fan, not a fan, he was so prolific that he wouldn't let up. He was going to outdistance his critics, and he was going to keep putting work out to keep churning you out so that you were conditioned to get your money saved up, because in another 3 months, Tyler's going to have another film. And so that was a tool that he used as well. And that banked so much money. He swallowed up so much money with opening weekends of $30 million that in the shortest amount of time possible, he has netted enough to have produced his own studio. That is where the power is vested. So look at his business model, and then stop, the indictments, and it's not fair. Yes, I want to feel sorry for myself. I don't believe it's fair. It is a dirty deal when you're talking about this. People shun your work before it is even produced. They reject it to say it's not worthy. So once you move past that, and that is definitely what you have to do, then putting it out and being two-fisted in terms of its marketing promotions is essential.
Thank you, Faith. Thank you so much.
You.
And good luck with the film. I'm going to actually grab that film. I want to see it. Thank you, Faith. Thank you so much. Wow, guys, this is phenomenal interviews from this session of Flipping the Script. I am just utterly impressed with the quality of the panelists and what they had to say and how vested they are in this issue. It's hard. It's going to be a long road to hoe, but we are going to do it. It's almost like what our forefathers had to do in the 60s. We got to get off our ass. We can't sit back and enjoy. I mean, you can enjoy, but you have to fight for what you want, and that's just the bottom line. Okay, guys, we're going to have several more interviews. Stick with us. We're going to have, at least 4 or 5. I'm going to grab some people from upstairs. We're going to go there now, and we're going to make sure we round this discussion out. All right. Stick with us. The next episode is going to be off the chain.